I'm tired of making boring grilled cheese. Let's kick it up a notch. Today let's make a mushroom bacon and smoked Gruyere grilled cheese. First, we'll get our bacon cooking in the oven. While that's cooking, let's prep our mushrooms. The mushrooms are a bit dirty, so I'm going to give them a quick rinse before I start cutting them. Alright, some of these mushroom stems are looking a little gnarly, so I'm going to chop those off. By the way, these are just normal white mushrooms, nothing special or fancy about them. Now get your pan preheated and get some oil in there. You'll just want a relatively thin layer of oil in there, and then lay all the mushrooms out evenly flat in the pan. We'll heat these at about a medium heat for 3 minutes. You can also add a little salt and pepper at this step. I'm not adding any salt, and you'll see why in a second. While sauteing these mushrooms, we're doing two things. We're gonna get a little bit of color on them, a little browning. That'll enhance the flavor. And another thing we want to do is to release some of the moisture, cook some of the moisture out of those mushrooms to intensify the flavor. Alright, we can give these a little mix now. You can see a really nice color on some of these. While those mushrooms continue to cook, I'm going to chop up some garlic. I always give it a good smash so I can take the skin off pretty easily. Then I can chop this garlic very small. I also want to chop up some thyme. I'm going to get the leaves off of these sprigs, and we'll chop these until they're fine. I'm going to remove these mushrooms from the pan for a second. I'll add just a little more oil there. And now I'll add our garlic and our thyme sprigs. Alright, you want this to be at a low, medium, low heat. You don't want to burn the garlic, just get it nice and brown, starting to toast, and release that flavor of the thyme into the oil. Alright, the garlic's just starting to toast and my house is smelling amazing. I'm going to get those mushrooms back in the pan and get it mixed in with that toasted garlic and thyme. Alright, I said earlier I was going to avoid salting them at that step. I'm actually going to get some chicken bouillon concentrate, add some warm water to it. That's going to give us our saltiness, and it is also going to impart a slight chickeny flavor. So there's chicken, there's umami. It's going to be delicious. Alright, now I'm going to get that chicken concentrate stock into this pan with our mushrooms. I'm going to let that reduce, and I'm going to let the mushrooms absorb that flavor. Now, when you want to dry out mushrooms, you can intensify the flavor of that mushrooms, and you can also make room in those mushrooms to absorb any flavors that you put into it. It can reabsorb the flavor from the chicken broth that I'm putting in here. Now, while that broth reduces, I can start grating my smoked Gruyere cheese. Alright, that chicken broth has reduced pretty well. I'm going to add a little sour cream for just to add some creaminess to the mushrooms and a tiny touch of acidity. Alright, we can get this off the heat and let these cool down a bit while we start to put our sandwich together. Alright, I've just got some regular sandwich bread here today, but use whatever bread you like best. I'm going to start with some of the Gruyere cheese, evenly spread on one slice of the bread. Now I'm going to cut my pieces of bacon in half and layer those onto the cheese. Next, I will go on with a layer of those sauteed creamy mushrooms. Lastly, I will finish with some more cheese. Now I'm going to spread some mayonnaise on both sides of the sandwich. That's going to get us some crispier toasted bread. Just a very, very light layer. Alright, I have my pan preheated to a medium heat. At this point you want to get some butter in there for actually toasting the grilled cheese. I'm out of butter, so I'm just using bacon grease. Now you can drop your sandwich into that pan. Make sure the heat's not too hot. You want to give it some time to toast that bread as well as let the heat melt the cheese inside the sandwich. After a couple minutes, give that underside a check to see how it's looking. That is looking perfect for me. I'm gonna give this a flip. Alright, it's been a couple more minutes. I'll check the underside of this, and it's looking excellent. Take a look at that. Boom. Alright, and I'll give this a quick cut. I'm just gonna cut it long ways because that will intersect the bacon at a 90-degree angle. Okay. Alright, here you can see our cross section. We've got our cheese melting, we got our bacon and mushrooms in there. Time for a taste. Alright, moment of truth, let's take a bite. It smells and looks amazing. Boom. Wow, that sandwich is good. Bread is toasted to perfection. Salty, crunchy bacon. Everybody loves bacon. And that smoked Gruyere really comes through with that smokiness, and the flavor is off the charts. And lastly, those mushrooms. That mushroomy flavor comes through. They're tender, they are creamy, and everything is really well balanced out. You can get that slight floralness from the thyme in those mushrooms. And all in all, this grilled cheese is incredible. I hope you try this combination of a smoked cheese, bacon, and mushrooms, or really just any way to elevate your grilled cheese, because a grilled cheese can really be so uniquely delicious. And this is the level of something I think that you could find in a restaurant that you'd pay a decent amount of money for, and these are very affordable ingredients. Now, if you enjoyed watching or learned something, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for some more delicious recipes and great ways of cooking things at home.